Well, kind of a bummer. Tennessee Jeff couldn't make it. Tim had just called. He was planning on going, but he couldn't make it as well due to family stuff. But I'm on my way to meet Seven. A little overcast and a little chilly today, but I'm gonna take him out to a spot that we've hunted before. Some Civil War stuff, some Civil War history, see what we can find. Well, Seven's over there pulling out something. I got me my first coin. I got a coin, nice and green. It looks like it's just gonna be a weedy. Yep, not that old. 1941. Nice and green though. Kinda like it. I love when they're green. Awesome. That's with my new 13-inch coil. Looks like it was about, I won't say, it was down at the bottom of that hole, so that was 8-9 inches. Seven just dug down about 14 inches. That's the old pocket knife there, boy. That's been rusted through, ain't it?
Yeah, I hit that pretty sharp too.
Yeah, but I like pocket knives.
I don't think there's no telling what the age is on the thing.
Nah, that's a hard thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
It'd be nice to think it was a Civil War guy's in his pocket.
We've saved it.
Sure, it was in the right area. Well, I got me one too. Pocket knife. It's missing that side. Looks like it's missing that side too. But I like the pocket knives. Well, me and Seven both got one today. I'm gonna guess this is an iron buckle. Ah, it's a door handle or a drawer pull. That's an old one, made out of iron. Been in there a while. That's cool. Been a lot of digging for one bullet, but I think I got one here. Looks like it's fired. Yeah. Yes, sir. Fired and chewed up.
I'm gonna get right over.
But that's a bullet. I didn't know if you wanted to head up there. We'll get your AT Pro. We can go up around the house if you want.
Yeah, I will.
House built in 1853. This was shallower than the stinking Lincoln I just dug. Wasn't 2.5, 3 inches down. It couldn't have been but 3 inches down there. I just dug a stinking Lincoln. I could tell it's an Indian head. It's got the shield there.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at the date. I hadn't cleaned it off the front there.
Boy, everything here has got that good green patina.
Yeah, nice and green. I like that.
You might be able to see that. I can't. Maybe 1903.
1904.
1904.
Yep.
Close.
Close. Well, I'm only over about 6 inches from where I was before. I see roundness in the hole down there. It's coming in off a high though. And that's a rosy. A rosy, 6 inches from the Indian. It was deeper than the Indian. Well, that was awful deep for a 1953 wheat. About 9 inches. Thought maybe I'd have me another Indian head. Well, there's Seven. You know you had to get a button. He got himself a great seal button.
Screaming signal sounded good.
Well, I'm glad you got you a button, man. Still got the shank on it?
Yeah.
You'll be able to date that.
It's been a while since I found a great seal.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Between that and your Hawaii pin, man. Bam.
Yeah, Hawaii pin. I find one of those at every 1850s house that I hunt.
Like we said, they're a dime a dozen. Well, it ain't no single trace like you had on your video today, but it's some horse tack, so. I always like the horse tack.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that's a little shallow. I couldn't believe that Indian was really shallow, though, so you never know.
Oh, I've seen that edge before.
Yeah.
That's an earring.
It is. It's an earring. So now you got your Hawaii pin and your earring.
Yeah.
You could go like as a pirate.
All I need now is a pole to put it in.
All right, well, we're finishing up because we're getting ready to go to the Murfreesboro Metal Detecting Club meeting.
Yeah.
Seven's going to talk out there, so thank you for coming. Everybody's going to enjoy it.
I'm looking forward to it, and I wish that Jeff could have come. Well, that was the plan, and Jeff is having some back issues right now, and hopefully he'll get his medication straightened out and be back up and going, because he really wanted to come, and we had a ball at the Middle Tennessee one, and met some of the guys that are up in y'all's club. And it was a lot of fun, so he sure wanted to. But
yeah, we're going to miss having him. Maybe he can come up some other time.
Life gets in the way sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. Tim couldn't make it out here today either. He's got that knee surgery he had, so we'll see him at the club meeting tonight too.
Well, you're kind of without Tim for a little while, and I'm without Jeff a little while. We may have to hook up again then.
I know, man. We're kind of, you know, we're alone, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like we're bachelors or widows. I don't know which.
I don't know. Well, here's our finds for today. So these are sevens. I didn't find any horseshoes, which is unusual. I got some clad. I got a head stamp. I did get that one Civil War bolt pretty chewed up. You said this is from a Haynes?
Probably from Haynes. I don't know. There were so many things that had those iron rings.
Yeah.
But,
then horse bucket handles. I think it's a hunk of lead. I got a pocket knife, Model T forward valve cover, a couple wheats, nice and green. I did get that 1904 Indian. We got some square nails. All of us got some square nails. Seven got himself a couple pocket knives. Got himself some clad as well. Some head stamps. I like that one. That's got a nice deep.
Yeah, high brass.
High brass.
Yeah.
We're not sure about that. This here is really cool. This is like a pewter salt shaker top. He got himself a couple green wheats there. This is like a pewter button, we think. Watch I don't drop it, but it's got some design on it. I'm sure he'll clean that up and look at that. Hawaii pin, nice great seal button with the shank on it, and his earring. So that's all right.
It was a slow start, but I mean, we found a lot of stuff. I mean,
we did. We should have just started up by the house to begin with.
Probably should have. Yeah.
Trying to find some bullets. Got one. We got up by the house. We found a lot more. But I'm glad you come out.
I am too. I
had a lot of fun.
Really enjoyed it, and want to have you up to Kentucky and get together. I conned him into. I don't know if you'll see it or not. Well, you won't see his video before Thursday night, will you?
No.
Well, anyway. It'll be in the past, but I want to con him in on being on the radio program then Thursday night, so that'll be a treat. We'll enjoy that.
Yep, it'll be fun. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. Middle Tennessee, I guess it was maybe last month before last, I go by Diggin with 7, and that's my YouTube channel. We put a video out every Tuesday. Me and Tennessee Jeff. Tennessee Jeff's having some health issues right now and couldn't come tonight. So I came to speak. We've also got a radio show, and by the way, we're going to have a couple of your guys on this Thursday night, and it's called Relics with an S, Relics Radio on Spreaker. And if you just go to Diggin with 7 on Facebook, and 7 is spelled out, you can get to those pages, and that program normally runs about an hour and a half every Thursday night. And so that'll give you a little bit more exposure and everything. I've been hunting since probably 1976. Started out a coil hunter whenever you could walk across the street and get into a local park and find 40 or 50 silver coils, you know. But I graduated into a relic hunter, and that's what I do now. Civil War and colonial relics are kind of our specialty. That's what we look for, and that's what we spend all of our time doing. We've been very fortunate, Jeff and I have. This year we found a variety of things, including a lot of Civil War stuff. On one site that we worked, Jeff found 3 U.S. cartridge box plates. We have each found large sets this year. We've each found multiple Spanish silvers this year, cut and whole, and just a world of other relics all year long. And we do a history clip. I do. Jeff doesn't have anything to do with that. I do a history clip in each Tuesday's video. So I guarantee you're going to learn something with every video that you watch. It may be what, the history behind a real, or it may be the history behind a certain coin or a certain kind of a suspender clip. All kind of history.
A single tree.
A single tree, yeah. That's what I did on this last one. And you'd be surprised at the people that say, I've dug those and I had no clue what it is. And Jeff says, well, Jeff's kind of a young man compared to me, but he said, you don't have to do research on all that stuff. You lived it. And I said, well, some of it I have, But I couldn't imagine anybody not knowing what a single tree is. But, a lot of people weren't growing up on a farm like we were. But anyway, I told these guys that I would come in. I don't really have an agenda that I want to talk about. I would rather you ask me questions tonight, things that you'd like to know, things that you think would help you, ideas or anything. I use we've got a multitude of machines, but I mainly use an AT Pro whenever I'm hunting at the colonial sites, and I use a MindLab GPS. But I've also, I had a MindLab CTX 3030, and we've got several different kind of machines. But if you've got a detector question, or if you've got a technique question, whatever you've got, I'm yours for a little while. To my website. Okay, go to YouTube. On YouTube. And by the way, I tell you what.
That'd make it easy.
I've got all kinds of stickers.
You hold this right here and I'll pass these
Pass
around.
these around.
Oh, well, he's going to pass them around, so that'll work.
Get you 2 or 3. If we run out, I've got a whole box of them back there. But on YouTube, it is Diggin, no G, Diggin, with 7, SEVEN. And here's how I got that name. That was my number in baseball. That's my boy's number in baseball, so it's a very special number in our family. And people call me 7 most of my life, and they call my boy 7. So it just kind of stuck. Whenever I started doing YouTube and everything, I picked that up. And if you on the radio, it's just Relics Radio on Spreaker, SPREKER. But if you go to Diggin with 7 on Facebook, all those links will be there. All you got to remember is Diggin with 7. Forget about Tennessee Jeff. Just remember Diggin with 7. You did? I'm gonna write it down. I got it. Okay, good. You keep that going.
And just so you guys know, if you're on our Facebook page, I put a link to his YouTube channel on there a couple times. So if you look down through, you'll see on the Murfreesboro Metal Detecting Facebook page, you can actually take a direct link to his YouTube channel as well. I got some.
I got some more.
We have a couple. Another one.
History clips are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. In every one of my videos, I do a history clip. Most of them are from a minute to maybe 2 minutes long. And I started that back at the first week of this year. I didn't have them in my videos prior to that. But we found something, and I got to where I was doing research on a lot of different things. And I just came up with the idea, I'm going to put a history clip in, and if we find something that needs to be ID'd or talk a little bit about the history, we'll do that. And every week, we've had something
really great.
that was interesting.
No, thanks.
You'll learn about bullets, you'll learn about buttons, you'll learn a lot of different things just through the history clip.
Yeah, 7 digs a lot of buttons and suspender clips. I love all the buttons you find from the colonial sites. The tomback, and you got the concave. Anyways, you learned a lot about the different years and when they were made.
Yeah, we've done, I've done a history clip on buttons. I recently did a history clip. I had some people come up from southeast Tennessee to hunt, and I think that there was 3 guys that came up, and really all that group we found some colonial buttons and everything, but one of the guys found an old colonial dinner knife, which is a common find on colonial sites. And so we really didn't have anything that I hadn't already touched on a history clip. So I said, well, I'm just going to do colonial dinnerware. Well, in my research of looking at that, I learned that up until just a few hundred years ago, that you were considered ungodly to even use a fork. A spoon or a knife, that was fine. Everybody ate with their knife. But the clergy in England said, God gave you a fork. It's your fingers. Eat with your fingers. And I had no clue about that. It made one of the most interesting history clips that I've done.
You probably see you get away with it at home. Otherwise we'd be swinging.
What else?
That's all video said on the 8 Pro. If you ever change the coil size, you should always reset it back to factory default, hitting the on button so many beeps. I hadn't heard of that, and that's swapped them.
I've heard it, and I normally do it.
I had one door live while we were fishing with him, and I thought it was him because coming down the water, because I couldn't make it do anything. It just going all different directions. And then I done some research on it, and they said different people said, well, I do mine once a month, and everybody said if you change that coil, go to the factory reset with that new coil.
I do. And with my AT Pro, the only 2 coils that I use, I don't have a big coil because I've got another machine that's got a big coil. I got a 5x8 and just the regular stock. And if I change those, you hit the power button on AT Pro and just hold it until you get multiple beeps. And then it will change. And it will put your sensitivity down 2 bars, so you'll have to go back in. I'll tell you how I hunt my AT Pro if you've got an AT Pro. I hunt in Pro Zero, and I hunt in iron disc, not iron audio. And I turn my iron disc all the way down. I hear everything, absolutely everything. And I don't use headphones unless I'm in a place where there's a lot of noise. We hunt a lot in the woods. I don't use headphones, and Jeff doesn't use headphones, and we're able to hear one another's signals. I can tell where the debris field is at. The nails are just, just got all them little grunts. But then you'll get a peep that comes through. Now, if you watch the video that I put out today, I found a cut Spanish 8 real. It's not a great big piece, but I found one that is in today's video that came out today. And I was telling Ron, I said, if I find a signal here today that sounded like that real, I want you to listen to it. And it was all that iron grunt You know, there's just low frequency grunt. And I don't watch my numbers much, but I had a 45 that's beep, beep every now and then. But I'm on a site that I'm digging anything that will repeat. And it repeated one way. And it was a Spanish reality. I've done 2 large sinks over the past year, 13 months. Neither of those gave me a two-way signal. I could get it just a little beat this way, I turned this way, I got nothing. And both of those large sinks did that. I'll tell you why. Is because both of those coins were standing up on end. Take this for an example. Where are you going to get your best signal if that's standing up on the ground like that? Long ways. You're going to get a good signal here because you're covering from there to there. What's that signal going to sound like? Nothing. You will not hear anything. So people will say, I'm not going to dig it unless I get it good both ways. If that's laying flat, you're going to get it no matter which way you go. If that coin is laying up like that, and if it's lasted this long, with everybody that's metal detected over the past 20 years anyway, those good flat signals, they're gone. They're gone. I'm hunting sites right now that have been hunted for 20, 30 years. We're digging stuff out left and right, but we're not digging out good signals. We're finding them little beepers that come in. And I'll tell you another trick that I use with any machine that I use. A place that I've really hunted and really found relics, I'll say, well, you know, out of the spot, let's just say the size of this room. What is the hottest spot? Where have I found most of my relics? Well, I may say, well, it's from that door to here to right here. I spend a whole day in this section. One whole day. And I discipline myself, I'm not going to get out of there. And I'll go this way, and then I'll go this way, and then I'll get in the middle of it, and I'll turn circles. You will not believe how many signals, good relics that you're going to dig. I did a whole video on it. And I went in, and it is a Civil War site that I have no idea how long it's been hunted. How many bullets did I pull out that day? 10 or 15 out of a little section right there that I've hunted with every machine that I've got for 3 years. 44s, Colt 44s, but I found a couple of 50 caliber Gallaghers. I found 3 of those. I found what was it that I found? Something that went on the sword belt. Adjustment.
Yeah, there you go.
Sword belt adjustment. All of that in that one little area, and I've hunted it to death. If you'd have walked in there and said, would you bet me $100 that I cannot go in that little section right there and I cannot find 5 bullets? You had $100 from me. Because I'd have said, I've hunted it and I'm confident there's nothing there. But
like you said, most folks come in and they're going quick and they're doing like this and they get in and slow down. And
Ron and I were talking today. I sure hope that you don't do this. That you don't have your detector, and when you're swinging, it's like a pendulum.
Yeah.
Now, I hunt with people that do that. If you're going to hunt that way, save the arm. Save the arm. Put your coil down on the ground in front of you and just walk. Because that's all you're covered. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with putting, my arm be ready to fall off. I've put my coil on the ground and just walk. And just walk and walk. And then if I find the target, I'll just go and turn it around. I'm not really swinging, I'm just moving the coil. But when that coil gets off the ground, that's how many inches that you're losing. Now, if you're hunting with a GPX, you can get by with that. Because we dig bullets at, oh man, I've dug bullets at 27 inches with mine. But I've dug nails at 27 inches. And I dug a few of those today.
He got some stuff today like that, yeah?
If you don't like to dig, don't buy a GPX because it is a deep machine. It doesn't have doesn't have any DDI on it, just two tones. But if you're a Civil War hunter, it's probably the machine to have. It's probably gonna have it. What else? I know you got more questions.
Yeah, how you find a camp?
How do you find a camp? It's not there are no silly questions. That is especially a good question. How do you find a camp? Obviously, we have documentations from the official records that certain camps you know.
Okay, let me ask you a question. When you don't have documentation.
Okay, whenever you don't have documentation, but you got to start with the documentation. You got to start with what you know that you've got. Okay, so you start with a known camp, and then you find the oldest maps that you can find, and you look and see where the old roads were. You look and see where the creek was at that time, where the rivers were, and then you start mapping out, or you start dotting off on a map every 10 miles. That's as far as a soldier could march in one day, unless it was just a do or die situation. Every 10 miles, mark it along the creek, every waterway that you can from a known camp. Somewhere there's another camp. Somewhere along that way within that 10 miles, there'll be another camp. It's going to be on a rise. If it's winter camp, it's going to be on a south sloping rise, or a west sloping where you're getting the maximum sun. If it's summer camp, it's the opposite of that. You want